There aren't a lot of leaders who can stand in the face of danger and war and still protect their people. But thank goodness President Volodymyr Zelensky is not one of them. This president of Ukraine has got the whole world on its feet, and we're more than happy to tell you about this man who secures his people and secures his bag while he's at it. Welcome back to our channel, and today we're going to tell you all about President Volodymyr Zelensky's $596 million empire. So sit tight, relax, and get ready to learn more about this real-life hero. Let's get started. Volodymyr Alexandrovich Zelensky is a Ukrainian politician who serves the position as the 6th and present president of the Ukraine. President Zelensky, as shocking as it might sound, is a former comedian and actor. He grew up as a native Russian speaker in Kryvyi Rih, the main city of Dnipro Oblast in central Ukraine. Before he started his acting career, he obtained a degree in law from the Kyiv National Economic University but did not practice. He announced his aspirations for the 2019 Ukrainian presidential election on the 31st of December 2018. Zelensky went on to win the election and was inaugurated into office on the 20th of May 2019. As the president, Volodymyr has been a supporter of unity between the Ukrainian and Russian-speaking parts of the nation's population, and even a supporter of e-government. His style of communication via majorly used social media platforms, especially Instagram, has helped him connect with the younger population. His party also won a landslide victory in the snap legislative election that took place shortly after his inauguration into office. During his time as president, Volodymyr oversaw the country's response to the COVID-19 pandemic, an economic recession, and some progress in taking down corruption in the country. Volodymyr Zelensky was born on the 25th of January 1978 to Jewish parents in Kryvyi Rih, which was then in the Ukrainian Soviet Socialist Republic. His father, Alexander Zelensky, is a computer scientist and professor and the head of the Department of Cybernetics and Computing Hardware at the Kryvyi Rih State University of Economics and Technology. And his mother, Rimya Zelenska, used to work as an engineer. Before he started elementary school, he lived for 4 years in the Mongolian city of Erdnet, where his father worked. Volodymyr grew up speaking Russian fluently, and by the age of 17, he joined his local team competing in the KVN Comedy Competition League. He was soon asked to join the United Ukrainian team, which performed in the KVN's Major League and even won in 1997. That same year, he developed and led the Kvartal 95 team, which later changed into comedy outfit Kvartal 95. Then years later in 2003, Kvartal 95 started to produce television shows for the Ukrainian TV channel 1+1, and 2 years later, the team moved to a fellow Ukrainian television channel, Inter. Moving on to his personal life, Zelensky married Elena Kiashko, who he happened to attend school with in September 2003. Their first daughter, Alexandra, was born in July 2004, while their son, Kirilo, was born in January 2013. Back in 2008, he starred in the feature movie Love in the Big City and its sequel Love in the Big City 2. He continued his movie career starring in various movies such as Our Time in 2011, Office Romance, and with Brzezinski vs. Napoleon in 2012. He also played the leading role in the 2012 movie 8 First Dates and in sequels which were released in 2015 and 2016. He also recorded the voice of Paddington Bear in the Ukrainian dubbing of Paddington in 2014 and the sequel Paddington 2 in 2017. Zelensky's daughter even played the daughter of the protagonist in his 2014 movie 8 New Dates. He has an estimated net worth of a whopping $596 million. He has a salary of $780,000 and a monthly income of a whopping $11 million. The president owns 5 luxury yachts, 12 real estate properties, and about 8 cars. His assets also include cash reserves of more than $75 million, and he owns an investment portfolio of 15 stocks worth $60 million. The stocks he is invested in include Alphabet, Apple, Meta, Amazon, Microsoft, and Tesla. That isn't all. While running for president and during his administration, he's received several expensive gifts from oligarchs and wealthy businessmen. His watch collection includes a Roger Dubuis worth $260,000, a Berger & Phil's worth $365,000, and a Chopard worth $105,000, an FP Jean worth $190,000, a Frank Miller worth $250,000, and a Patek Philippe worth $400,000. Whew! Let's move on to the war crisis between Russia and Ukraine that gained him worldwide acknowledgement for his braveness and selfless leadership. In the early hours of the 24th of February, a short while before the start of the invasion by Russia, Volodymyr recorded a message to the citizens of both Ukraine and the opposition country Russia. He denied claims of the Russian government, led by President Vladimir Putin, about the presence of neo-Nazis in the Ukrainian government, and stated that he had no plans of attacking the Donbass region while mentioning his connections to the region. In a part of the address, Zelensky spoke in Russian to the people of Russia, asking them to stop their government from starting a war. On the morning of the same day, President Putin publicly announced that Russia was starting a special military operation in the Donbass region. Russian missiles hit several military targets in Ukraine, and President Zelensky declared martial law. He also announced that all diplomatic relations were being cut off, effective immediately. Later that day, he publicly announced general mobilization. The next day, Zelensky said that despite Russia's claims it was only hitting military sites, civilian sites were also being affected. In an early morning address to the nation that day, Zelensky said that his intelligence services had identified him as the top target of Russia, but he is staying in Kyiv and his family will also remain in the country. He explained that Russia wanted to destroy Ukraine politically by destroying their leader, him. In the early hours of the 26th of February, during the worst attack by Russian troops on the capital of Kyiv, the Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan and the United States government urged Volodymyr to leave to a safer location, and both offered help for such an effort. He turned down both offers and chose to remain in Kyiv with his defense forces, saying that "The fight is here in Kyiv. I need ammunition, not a ride." This phrase by Zelensky went viral, and his selfless leadership was applauded around the world. Over 90% of Ukrainians supported the actions of their president, including over 90% in the western and central parts of the country, and more than 80% in Russian-speaking regions in the southern and eastern parts of Ukraine. A Pew Research Center poll discovered that even 72% of Americans had faith in Zelensky's handling of international affairs. Volodymyr Zelensky has gained worldwide acknowledgement as the wartime leader of Ukraine during the Russian invasion, and historian Andrew Roberts even compared him to Winston. A Harvard Political Review said that he's used the power of social media to become the first true online wartime leader in history by bypassing native gatekeepers as he uses the internet to communicate with people. He has even been described as a national hero or global hero by many, including publications such as USA Today, The Hill, Der Spiegel, and Deutsche Welle. The Guardian and BBC News even reported that his response to Russia's invasion has received accolades even from people who've criticized him in the past. During Russia's invasion, Volodymyr was reportedly the target of over a dozen assassination attempts. 3 of those were prevented due to help from Russian FSB employees who didn't want the invasion. Speaking about civilians of his country who were killed by Russian forces, Zelensky said, "We will not forgive. We will not forget. We will punish everyone who committed atrocities in this war. We will find every scum who was shelling our cities, our people, who was shooting the missiles, who was giving orders. You will not have a quiet place on this earth except for a grave." The president has been described by Gal Beckerman of The Atlantic as having given the world a Jewish hero, and was also called the Jewish defender of his country's democracy by the Times of Israel. On the 7th of March 2022, Milos Zeman, the president of Czech, decided to award Volodymyr with the highest state award of the Czech Republic, the Order of the White Lion, for his bravery in the face of war. Well, that's all for today's video. What do you think of President Volodymyr Zelensky and his philosophy and wealth? Make sure to air your views in the comment section below. Hope you enjoyed watching, and make sure you like and subscribe to our channel for more amazing content. See you in the next video.